Yeah, I want to thank all y'all for coming out and joining me on my first episode of the cartoons that made us. This one right here, Johnny Quest, this was one of my favorites, man. I grew up on Johnny. This is one of the cartoons that set me down my path on the cartoons. So, as we get started, remember to hit that like button, share, and subscribe. Do you want dinosaurs, rockets, robots? How about action, kung fu, and mysticism, adventure, high-tech gadgets, assassins, and spies? Well, you're in luck, because it's all that and more on the adventures of Johnny Quest. Welcome. I'm the blogfather, and this is the cartoons that made us. So let's dive right in. Johnny Quest is an American animated science fiction adventure that redefined primetime cartoon television. Yes, you heard me correctly. When it first aired in 1964, The Adventures of Johnny Quest aired on ABC in prime time, the only cartoon to do so before it being the Flintstones. But to the viewing audience of 1964, there was nothing like the comic strip style animation of Johnny Quest at the time. In fact, several animation techniques were developed just for the show, many of them due to meeting scheduling deadlines set by ABC and the budget set by Hanna-Barbera. Johnny Quest was an original production from William Hanna and Joseph Barbera. The musical direction and theme song were composed by Hoyt Curtin and Doug Wildley. More about him later. The theme song was composed by Ted Nicholas. The show was strongly character-driven and emphasized the relationship between its title character Johnny and his two father figures after the death of his mother. However, here's something some of you might not know. Johnny's mother, Rachel Quest, was also a brilliant scientist before she was kidnapped and murdered by the evil Dr. Zen, making him the arch nemesis for both Dr. Quest and Johnny Quest in the years that would follow. So how many of y'all remember this? Man, I would have loved to have this game back in the day. You know, the funny thing though, commercials in the 80s always made the toys look so cool, right? When you got this game, they would have did none of this stuff. It would have been a simple board game, you know, roll some dice, and you'd scooted the little players around, and that was that. But look how they got this. You really thought, if you was a kid, you really thought these things was gonna be moving. Like, well, hold on, wait till you see this part. This is my part right here, hold up. This you'd be killing me. Riding around on the scooters and shit. Excuse my language, y'all. But you know, I sometimes, when I do these, I get off script, you know. Excuse me. Alright, but look, check this out. That's cool and all. I'm like, how is this a board game? How you supposed to have a board game that's inside? Like, what? How do you make this room? Used to make my head spin trying to figure that shit out. Like, what? But this the joint right here. They used to have me like, what the? Alright, you got Race Bannon, right? Okay, you know he the fighter. He punching these dudes. It ain't change. I'm like, what? Nah, that ain't gonna happen, right? That ain't gonna happen like that. Yo, 80s commercials, bro. You gotta love them. Welcome back. We can't talk about Johnny Quest without talking about the man who created it. The man with the vision for creating a moving comic strip. And that's Doug Wildey. At the time of release, there was nothing like Johnny Quest. Most cartoons were nothing but anamorphic animals performing slapstick jokes just to amuse us. Maybe you get a Popeye or Superman here and there. But still, nothing like the serial-styled, action-driven, science-based Johnny Quest. It was filled with real locations and multiple cultural mythos, which gave it a sense of realism, unlike any other cartoon. Doug Wildey was hired by Hanna-Barbera to adapt the radio hero Jack Armstrong into an animated adventure. He agreed and got to work on a pilot. Hanna-Barbera were impressed with his designs, but somewhere along the line, they got the bright idea to create something original that they'd own outright instead of adapting Jack Armstrong, and the saga of Chip Ballou was born. Huh? What? I thought we was talking about Johnny Quest. Well, the show went through a couple of titles before finally becoming The Adventures of Johnny Quest. In the beginning, it was called File 037. And if you're a true fan, then you know that's the case file that the CIA has on Dr. Benton Quest.
Better get me File 037 and call the airport. You're calling in Dr. Benton Quest Flight.
Wildey earned his chops on a show that I'll be covering soon called Space Angel. He was a comic strip artist first and foremost, and that made his animation style different than anyone else's. He widely drew influences from the Tom Swift Jr. novels of the 1950s, The Dragon Lady, and most importantly, Jerry and the Pirates. Johnny Quest, however, is not without its share of controversy, as Complex magazine has labeled it the 7th most racist show of all time. I'm assuming due to its depiction of various native peoples, many who were portrayed as primitive tribesmen or genius villains plotting against America and the United States. Honestly, as a child, I didn't notice or feel any way other than excitement or wonderment. But despite how 18-year-old blogfather might have felt, people have criticized the Quest family adopting the Indian-born Haji, saying, the sort of a white savior kind of complex thing. I personally don't feel like that, and after watching interviews and reading interviews of Doug Wildey himself, I don't feel that he was trying to portray that. I get the intention from him that he was actually trying to provide some diversity into what would have been a predominantly white male cast, especially with the death of Johnny's mother, Rachel. There's also the infamous Dr. Zing and the Jezebel Jade, who could appear tropish and stereotypical to some people. But controversy aside, I feel Johnny Quest has aged well, and the attention given to the realism of the show makes it a standout amongst the history of cartoons. It's been rebooted, it's been parodied, there have been many comic books, comic strips, it has games. It's pretty much a standout amongst the world of cartoons. Thanks for joining us. Remember to mention in the comments which cartoon you would like for me to do next. And I'll see you guys next time. Thanks.